Hi everyone, welcome to another academic video. Here in the UK, we've just had the results released from the NSS. So in this video, I'll explain what the NSS is and why it matters to university students. We're having a bit of a mini heat wave here in the UK, so I've ponytailed up my hair, ready for this serious academic video. If you're new to the channel, hi, my name is Caroline. I'm a UK-based physics lecturer, so I work and I teach and I research at a UK university. So, in the last week, we had the NSS results come out, and the NSS is important both to university and college students and to the universities themselves. So I thought it would be a great opportunity to explain a little bit about what it is, what students do to get involved, and why it matters. So first up, what is the NSS? Well, it is the National Student Survey. So it runs from February to, I think, end of April, and it's an opportunity for students in their final year to share their university or their college experience. If you go on the NSS website, it gives you a few details about it. So the survey was launched in 2005, and since then about 4.5 million students have taken part in the survey to share their feedback about their education experience. So if we were to look at the survey results from last year, it's about 7 out of every 10 final year students take part in the national survey. So, it's a big deal. It's a big opportunity for students to feedback directly how they found their university course and their university experience, and basically to kind of give their opinion on what their educational journey at the university or the college was like. So importantly, these surveys are not run by individual universities or individual colleges. On my previous video, I spoke a little bit about the MEQ, the Module Evaluation Questionnaire. Now that is something that the university will put on at the end of each module to get student feedback on a particular university module within a particular university programme. This is different. The NSS is a nationally organised and run scheme, so actually the universities aren't involved in, if you like, the framework and the organisation of the NSS, but they do play a role in helping promote it and to encourage their students to take part in the survey. I guess the two main objectives that the NSS are looking to achieve is by collating data from final year students. They're looking for the students to help inform future students about their experiences on particular courses and at particular university providers. So that's kind of like objective number one. And the second objective is to actually give the universities and the colleges directly feedback from their final year cohort of graduating students, so they too can make modifications to their courses and their programmes and actually kind of, I guess, respond to the needs and the requests and the requirements that are coming from the survey and from the students directly. Now, this whole survey is confidential, so of course you can't track what an individual student has said about an individual educational provider. And actually they designed the whole survey, there's very clever open questions to make sure that confidentiality is maintained throughout the survey process. So what does the National Student Survey actually involve? Well, there's 27 kind of key questions, I guess, and they cover some core areas. I've had to write them down because there's quite a few core areas that they're looking across. It is a very comprehensive study. So again, you can go onto the NSS website, you can see these criteria for yourself. But these 27 core questions that students are asked to cover look across the teaching on the course, the learning opportunities, the assessment and feedback, the academic support, the organisation and management, the learning resources that are available, the learning community that's available for the students, the student voice, and the overall satisfaction. So, it is a thorough questionnaire. They're not looking at just one part of your university or college experience. They are kind of covering the whole experience as a student at an educational institution. And then on top of those 27 core questions, universities can work with the survey and the students' union at their university or college and actually add in a couple of additional optional questions. So if a university has done something particular, so maybe one year students fed back they wanted something to be changed, and maybe the university has tried to address it, they have the option to put in a question specifically on that topic to see whether they've had a positive change or whether the students still would like to see more change in that particular area. Now that sounds like an awful lot of questions, but actually when you read the recommendations on their website, they're only looking for those core 27 questions to take a student 10 minutes to fill out. And if you put a couple of minutes on for the optional questions, really, you're looking at 15 minutes, possibly a few more if you're doing like the open-ended questions, but really not a very long time to complete the survey. So it's designed to be quick and easy for students to do, to get as many feedback responses as they possibly can. So who can take part in the survey? Well, as I said, it is limited to only being final year students. And I think there's something like 400 educational colleges or universities that are eligible to take part. And they go across, obviously, England and Wales and Scotland and Northern Ireland. So this is a big survey. It's not just an individual college or university, it is a large national survey. And there are some very strict rules if you are working at a university about what you can and can't do. Now, obviously, if you're at a university, you can't do the survey on behalf of a student. That would be definitely against the rules. These have to be completed by the students themselves. You also can't have an environment where you are forcing the students to do the survey. You can't lock them in at the end of your lecture theatre class and demand that they all fill out the survey before they get to go home that evening. That's also not allowed. But what you can do is you're allowed to encourage students to take part. So quite often you might see universities having campaigns saying, please take the survey. There's end of year leavers t-shirts for those people who do the survey, or maybe there's a coffee voucher if you do the survey. Because universities and colleges really do want students to take part in this, because it's a really good way for them to get direct feedback about how those students found their particular course experience. But of course, the university, although it can encourage students to take part, and it can be quite proactive in encouraging students, it must run a neutral campaign. So there can be no influence or bias on how students actually answer the questionnaire or the survey. Universities have to very strictly, just stick to encouraging people to take part and not actually influencing how they answer those survey questions. And then what happens, so I said this survey runs typically at the start of the year. I think it usually opens from February and it runs to the end of April. And just now, so just last week, so that's July, we had the results released here in the UK. So for the universities, this is a really useful, important set of data. So we get the results coming out to each university provider, and you can look down the list of the core questions, you can look down how the optional questions were ticked and performed against, and you can see directly what your graduating cohort of students thought about their university experience. But yeah, let me know, are you a student? Have you had to take part in the NSS? Or I say have to, it can't be compulsory. Have you been encouraged to take part in the NSS and give your final year student feedback into the survey? Maybe you're a teaching fellow or an academic member of staff and you are the person doing the encouraging, trying to get the students to complete the survey. Let me know, do you think these surveys are a good idea? Are they a bad idea? I think surveys always come with pros and cons. It's very difficult, I guess, to write a survey which isn't going to have some challenges associated with it, as well as some positives. That's probably a big, deep question for a future video. But yeah, let me know. Have you been involved in the UK NSS 2022? And if you're not in the UK, does your country do something similar? Do you have a national survey for students? And does it happen once a year, every couple of years? It'd be really cool. Let me know in the comments. As always, thank you so much for your feedback. Loving reading the comments. Thank you so much for joining the channel. It really does help grow our academic community here on YouTube. So please do keep leaving me messages in the comment section. Have a really good week. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next Monday. Bye.